Well,
in fact, the poll just said the majority of people say that Trump's presidency was a success and Biden's presidency is a failure. This is what the polls say,
those
David.
numbers
Should we ignore the polls?
No, again, we don't ignore the polls, but these are snapshots, right? And we have to take from it what will lead us down that road to November. And what we can pull from it are some of these momentums that are happening. And that's where I show that where Donald Trump is losing support among women is very important to recognize. And yes, Biden has to do more to reignite his base with minority voters. That's been a strong part of the Democratic Party, and one that I think is not about them voting for Donald Trump. It's that they're frustrated right now with what is going on in society. Yes, there's a lot of issues, but Joe Biden is actually facing those issues, stepping into them and trying to solve them. What you hear from the GOP side is just
facing the issues,
particularly on the border.
Frankly, you have an open border. You wonder why the African-American community and the Latinas are mad? Because you let 7 million migrants in the country.
Yeah.
And how do we fix it?
7 million of them that are shutting everyone else down.
We fix it by updating our laws.
David, when you say that Biden is answering the issues of the day, that's not true. I mean, he's got an open border, 10 million people on Biden's watch in America illegally. You've got a Federal Reserve that's trying to rein in. Hold on. You got a Federal Reserve trying to rein in inflation, and Biden wants to spend more money. Does he not understand that inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods, and that is the reason we had 40-year high inflation that the Fed is trying to counter? You know, he says he wants to follow the law and have a law in the society, and yet he's blowing off the Supreme Court and wanting to forgive more student loan debt in the face of the Supreme Court saying, no, this is unconstitutional. So, you know, when he says Trump is a detriment to democracy, I think most people wince and say, no, actually what you're doing is a threat to democracy. And you've got your opponent holed up in a Manhattan courtroom while you go campaign all over the place.
Well, look at the facts. You had legislation
those are the facts. I'm looking at the facts.
Bipartisanly.
Yeah, I'm looking at the facts.
Yeah, the fact is that you had legislation agreed on, and then what happens? Donald Trump says, no, don't pass that legislation on border security because it's too good of a political issue for me. We can't give President Biden any wins, and we'll do it, and we'll just hold back. And so the question is, why do we have Congress there? Congress needs to do its job, update our laws. The way that we fix the illegal immigration problem is through legal immigration and updating our laws. I think we all recognize that. So the fact that Republicans say the border is out of control, but then refuse to do anything on it is disingenuous.
David, what we recognize is that under Donald Trump, we were at a 20-year low in terms of illegals coming into the country. Now we're at a 40-year high. President Biden came in and overturned all of Donald Trump's security at the border. We know that.
Donald Trump was only the president after Herbert Hoover.
You don't need to talk over me, sir, at every chance you can.
All right, final word, Kate.
I actually went down to the border
real quick. Go ahead, Kate.
Yes, I actually went down to the border, unlike most people, took my own razor wire to secure it. And I can tell you, in the 10 times I have been down there, there are people coming from all over the world. Afghanistan, China, Ecuador, Colombia. Most of them get robbed or raped on the way here. We have a legal immigration system. Does it need some work? Yes, it absolutely does. But stop pretending like we don't have a massive problem. And the legislation that you want to pass was going to let 1.8 million people still in the country at 5,000 a day.
Yeah.
Congress is saying they're doing nothing. They're saying there's a problem, but they won't do anything.
David, the president walked into the Oval Office and overturned all Trump's security at the border. That's not Congress's fault. That's Joe Biden and his executive orders. And we know that. We've been to the border plenty. The show has been to the border live. We've seen it all. Look, David, thank you so much for joining us and trying to make the case.
Executive order. It has to be fixed through legislation.
That's not true. It was broken by executive order, and it can be fixed by executive order. David Carlucci and Kate Monroe, thank you. We'll be right back.